Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, your buddy Dave here at The Dark Stuff, back with another video. I had to make a video today because I was super jazzed about a band I saw last night. I just showed you a little clip from Twin Peaks. They're a Chicago band, super young dudes. They're like all in their, gotta be like 22, 23 or something like that, like super young. I've talked about them in a bunch of videos before. I know from a couple years ago I referenced them when their Wild Onion album came out because I played the crap out of it on my show, and the record label sent me a free copy of the vinyl. Initially they just sent a CD, and then the new one came out, Down in Heaven. That's the album they were in support of, and last night was the final night of the tour, at least the first leg of the tour. And so they were having a good time. They were drinking like big time. A couple of them were like seriously loaded. Like one guy fell over like while he was doing the set and didn't miss a beat. I mean, he dragged the microphone down to the ground and he was like still singing and playing when he was on the ground, but he had to be helped up because he was kind of drunk. And I talked to him a little bit after the show, and yeah, he was a little bit wasted. Great band, great show. A little bit, the crowd was strange, okay, because they're kind of starting to become a little bit of a buzz band in the indie world, and I thought they were going to be a little bit bigger than they were, and there really weren't as many people as I thought. Maybe only about 100 people showed up. The crowd was very, very, very young. I mean, I generally feel like the old guy at the show, although when you go to like an arena show or some older band, there's no way I'm the oldest guy in the crowd. But in this case, man, these kids were all like 15, 16 in the crowd. I don't know where they're hearing Twin Peaks. Maybe they listened to my show. I don't know. I didn't feel like going around and asking. But the fact is, very, very young crowd. And this was the first time I felt like in a long time where I was like, damn, I am definitely the oldest person in the room. I bumped into a friend of mine. She's a good 10, 12 years younger than me. And she was like, man, I feel so old in this place, you know. So that was unusual. But anyways, after the show, I bumped into the guys. I talked to them a little bit, and I got my Wild Onion album signed by a couple of the guys, 3 of the 5. I didn't get to talk to all of them, but they were all super cool. And I talked to one of the guys. I didn't catch any of their names, but one thing I did realize was that 3 of them sing. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought there was one singer, and 3 different guys. The 2 guitar players, they both sing. And the bass player also sings some of the songs too. And now that I know that, it's like seems super obvious. Like, how did I not realize there were different vocalists? But I mean, I didn't. I just thought one guy was the singer. Anyways, the band had their debut record, Sunken, here. It's for sale there, so I bought a copy of that. Haven't listened to it yet. I was talking to the guy in Twin Peaks about it, and I said, hey, you know, I love Wild Onion, I love Down in Heaven. I just picked up the original one and never heard it before. He's like, oh man, it's dirty. He's like, we were like all 18 when we did the record, and it's really dirty sounding. We did it in 5 days or whatever. These last 2 records have been real clean. He's like, then I think we're gonna try and go dirty again for the next one. And I was like, hey, I'm down. I'm sure it's fine, you know? If it sounds like Guided by Voices or something, because it's like lo-fi, great pop songs, I'm fine with that. He's like, oh, I love Guided by Voices. So anyways, we're on the same track. Opening the show was a band also from Chicago. They were called Knee High, and I picked up their album. I got it signed by one of the guys. I bought it from them, and then I tried to find the other guys, but honestly, like, by the time the show was over, so Knee High had played their set, and then Twin Peaks played, and then it was over, and then I'd see the guy from Knee High. I didn't remember what the dudes looked like, so I didn't want to go up to random people and be like, were you in Knee High? Will you sign my record? Like, and there's no pictures of them anywhere, so it's like, I was like, are any of the guys in the band around? And he looked and he was just like, I don't know, I don't see them. So I only got it signed by one guy. I haven't listened to this one yet either. This apparently came out in 2015. It's, I think, self-released. During the show, I kind of said I sort of described them to somebody as, imagine you were playing a Feelies album a Feely's 45, okay, and you were playing it on 33. That's kind of what it was reminding me of. It had a Feely's sound, a Feely's tone, a Feely's whatever, but just not quite as manic and fast as like the early Feely's stuff. So I don't know if that's a good description for you. I did find a little bit of a video for them for the song called Turncoat, which is off this record, so this will maybe give you a little bit of an idea of what their sound was like. Anyways, they were really good too. Their set started off stronger, and then oddly they were like, we're going to play some new stuff, and I wasn't sure if the new stuff was quite as cool, but maybe it's just not fully worked out yet or whatever. But they seemed like a pretty interesting band, so if you dug that clip, I would give them a try. But Twin Peaks, man, I cannot recommend them strongly enough. I will say this, the guy told me that this was the end of this leg of the tour, taking a couple weeks off, then they're doing Europe after that, and then they're coming back and they're doing the entire United States again, and then they're going to other parts of the world. So keep an eye open. You know, if you missed them on this round of the tour, definitely go catch them next time, because it's really good. And try that Wild Onion album or this one, Down in Heaven. Great stuff. In my last video, I talked a little bit about, maybe it wasn't the last video, maybe 2 videos ago or whatever, where I talked about the newest Ace Frehley, the Origins Volume 1, and I'd only given it a casual listen at the time, and I was sort of harsh on it. I mean, I wasn't completely harsh on it, but I feel like I was honest. Decided to revisit this because a couple of reasons. Well, one, yesterday was June 28th, 2016, or I'm sorry, 2 days ago. I'm recording this on the 30th. That happens to be the 20th anniversary of the first show of the Kiss reunion tour back in 1996 at Tiger Stadium in Detroit, and I happened to be there. I was there. My buddy and I had a pledge in high school that if Kiss ever got back together with the original lineup, put the makeup back on, that we would drop whatever we were doing in our lives and go to that first show. And when the opportunity presented itself, we did it. We were in the 8th row at Tiger Stadium. And I was reminded of that, first of all, because it was 20 fucking years ago. And that means I'm super old, because I was 25 when I did that, and I'm 45 now. And I know that's basic math. And then I also revisited because it was just announced that Ace Frehley is coming to Omaha, and he's playing at my brother's club, The Waiting Room, which I'm super amped about. I talked to him once before about saying that, like, look, I think perhaps you should book Ace Frehley for my 50th birthday, you know, because I would think that'd be a good enough reason to do it. And then I said, but that's 5 years from now, because I'm 45, so it might be a couple years. I don't know if Ace is even going to be around. Is he going to be still alive? I hope he is. I mean, he's doing better now. He's been sober for a long time. But, you know, 30 years of partying can do damage to your body. Who knows if he's going to be around? So then all of a sudden the opportunity came up for Ace to be playing at the Waiting Room, and I'm just like beyond amped. I've never met him in person. I have a podcast where I interviewed him on the telephone years and years ago when Anomaly came out, and I can try and remember to put a link so you can listen to that if you want to. It was pretty good. But now I am taking full advantage of this opportunity to meet Ace. There better not be any restrictions on it. I'm sorry. I'm going to play every card I have to get the opportunity. So again, Origins Volume 1, but the opportunity to see Ace live in a club where I just saw Twin Peaks, that same place I showed you that footage of, holds about maybe 400 people. Oh, amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so a couple of new things that I picked up. First off, let's go with this Bangles collection called Ladies and Gentlemen, the Bangles. This just came out on Omnivore. It's a collection of their early singles, EPs, and some live tracks and rarities and stuff. It actually features the original bass player there, Annette, on the front cover. And now if you look right above my bald head there's their original first EP, the Bangles, which I have signed by Vicki Peterson when I met her. That is included on here. Now this collection came out digitally in 2014, but never in a physical format. Now it's finally come out on CD. So it's new old music from the Bangles, but lots to be excited about. A couple of live tracks I've never heard. And a lot of this stuff, these early demos, I just didn't know the stuff. 3 songs from when they were still called the Bangs, when they were originally a trio, Peterson sisters and Susanna Hoffs. Before they even got this Annette chick, they were the Bangs. Then they became the Bangles, etc. So great stuff, and I keep getting to revisit my whole Bangles thing, and you know, still crushing hard on Susanna Hoffs. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I ordered. I'm gonna probably. I definitely will be seeing Bob Mould, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to meet him on when he comes to town. He's playing at the Slowdown in a couple of weeks. Now I've met Bob Mould a couple of times over the years, dating back to the early '90s when he first, before Sugar even formed. After he did his first 2 solo tours, he did an acoustic tour, probably '92, '91 or so. And I met him at that point. I interviewed him once in the late '90s. Got a picture here when I met him at the Maha Music Festival in 2013. That's me, the fat guy. So I have met him before and stuff like that. But now I want to get him to sign some stuff and whatever. And this will hopefully be a better situation. So he's coming to town in September, and so I decided I would go ahead and buy the new album on vinyl. I've already talked about Patch the Sky that I got as a promo on CD. I went ahead and purchased the vinyl. I just happened to be at Barnes & Noble when I did it. Didn't realize Barnes & Noble had some exclusive thing where they're like, exclusive art print signed by the band. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Well, it's not an art print, it's just the promotional poster, which I already had, but this one was signed by Bob. And I've seen his signature on enough things to know that that is a legitimate signature, and that is him who did it. So I already framed it up and everything. So that saves me the trouble of getting that thing signed. But I mean, I still would love, I think a silver pen would look cool right on here to get him to sign on that, or black down here. And I'd get the other guys too in his band because they're cool. I mean, it's the guy from Superchunk. So anyways, I picked this up and didn't even realize that Barnes & Noble has an autographed little poster inside. So if you're thinking about grabbing the vinyl, you know, in this one instance, I would say go to Barnes & Noble. I don't ordinarily endorse it. I also picked up Ryan Adams' 1989 there while I was there. And I talked about this last year. There it is. This is his Taylor Swift covers album, or him doing the 1989 album. It made my top 20 of last year, so you can reference my my video. I'll put a link to my best of 2015 where I talked a little bit more about it and my kind of initially going from thinking this is the stupidest idea ever to being like, man, this is a fucking good album. So anyways, I finally bought it on vinyl because when I got the promotional copy for the radio show, they just sent it digitally, so I didn't have anything physical. Felt like going ahead and getting that. And the last thing that I picked up was this Fugazi thing called First Demo. Okay. Now I got this. It has, what it is it's came out in 2014, and it's demos from their early albums. And you know, I sort of didn't think like, why do I need to hear Fugazi demos? I mean, it didn't. I wouldn't think that they would be that different. And truth be told, the songs aren't radically different, but they're different enough. Like their classic track Waiting Room, you can hear how the harmony vocals are not totally put in yet. They hadn't really written that part. Rhythmically, it's slightly off. The drums are just a little bit off. The bass line, the song is basically there. It's the way it is with a lot of songs. They obviously were still working it, still getting it better. This is a cool collection. I mean, I'm a Fugazi fan, but I didn't think I would really appreciate an album of demos from them. But pleasantly surprised that I was actually wrong on that one. So, alright friends, I'm going to close out with a little more live music from Twin Peaks. Go see them if they come to your town. It was great stuff. Check out Knee High, check out all of these bands. And if you're even a moderate fan of the Bangles, especially if you like the All Over the Place album, which is their best record, this new collection, ladies and gentlemen, is solid because it all predates that. So it's just when they were really, that 60s inspired girl group sound is just excellent. Alright, take care everybody.